Alright, so this here is going to be, I think, the third video on this CR250R project I got. Today, I've been working on trying to strip the paint from the plastics. Did the fuel tank, shoot, sometime last week. I did that the second day I had it. Obviously, there's still paint on it, and I need to wet sand it, buff it. Spent about 2 hours just on this damn thing. Front fender. Somebody told me I should just buy new fenders. Well, you know what? These aren't cracked, and this isn't costing me anything except for my time and some aircraft stripper. Actually, I ran out of aircraft stripper, and the acetone doesn't really work as good. I noticed that on the fuel tank before I stripped it that it was bubbling up in spots, so I just ended up grabbing the gas can and pouring some gas in that. It's an old windshield washer fluid jug. Cut the top of it off, and I poured gas in it, and I brushed it on, and I kept on scrubbing at it. Worked out pretty good. This here, these pieces, whoever fucking painted this shit, I think they actually sanded it down and used primer, because there's some gray in there. They used primer and then put some red on it, then went black. Fucking, some people shouldn't be allowed to fucking have paint. It's here for the right side. It's busted up. I don't think I'm gonna strip this because it's cracked. If I can find one on eBay for a decent price, I'll just buy it and replace it. When I started popping the plastic shit off this bike, I forgot about the rear fender. Just have to get that out another day. But I just want to get it to where it doesn't look completely like shit. I mean, still looks like shit, but I don't care. I have a title for it. It does run, and it's an oddball year, 1981. This is the first year of the liquid-cooled CR250R. It's got the kickstart on the left side. It's got the exhaust on the left side. A lot of collectors like this. A lot of people freaking hate it because it's an oddball. Seems to me that damn near every ATV or snowmobile or anything that I get, it's a special year. Like, well, for that TRX 300 FW, really nothing special about it. I mean, it's the first year the 4Trax 300 4x4. My 1975 Ski-Doo TNT 340 FA. 1975, that was the first year that I think that was the first year. I don't know if it was for Ski-Doo or just any snowmobile, but that was the first year that there was a snowmobile with the independent suspension in the rear, whatever the fuck they call that. I don't know if that's just for Ski-Doo or just snowmobiles in general. So you had an 84 Honda TRX 200. That was Honda's first four-wheeler. That would have been a cool one to restore, but I ended up getting rid of that. It was just too far gone. I didn't have the money at the time, and I had this thing sitting. So let it go. I regret it. Because now that I got rid of that, there's like 3 or 4 of them on Facebook and Craigslist that are great for parts, and go figure. So yeah, yesterday I started it. I believe, yeah, I got a video of that. Ended up cleaning a couple wires on this wiring harness, and was able to get it to where I got spark previous owner or the guy before him. Somebody jerry-rigged that shit. But yeah, once I figured out that I had spark, I ended up spraying starting fluid into the carburetor, added some oil to the crankcase, kicked it a couple times, and it started and died. Sprayed some more starting fluid in there. A little bit more that time on the second time. Kicked it a couple times, it started. Revved up, and died. Mixed some fuel. Put it in the gas tank. Bike wouldn't run on its own, wouldn't idle. It just ran like shit. I didn't record that. So I pulled the carburetor off to clean it out. And when I was in the car, when I took the carburetor off, I looked on the intake and there was a big chunk of fuzz. Looked like foam insulation or something. It was in the reed valves. So I took the reed valves out and cleaned that shit out, put it back in. I haven't tried to run it yet. I have a antifreeze leak. I'm guessing that I need a O-ring behind this screw. You pop that screw out and that'll drain your antifreeze. Well, the gasket behind the water pump cover is bad. I didn't worry about putting any silicone shit on it because I thought the cover was cracked on it, so I took it off. But at this point in the game, I'm really not worried about it. I'm not going to be running it. I just waiting for the title to come back in the mail. Make sure that's 100% good before I dump any money into it. But at the end of the day, making a gasket or using silicone and adding oil isn't really gonna set me too far back. Shoot, just so far, and stripping the paint off the plastics, I'm about 6 or 7 hours into it. I'm still not done, but I've probably got about $10 invested in just the acetone and aircraft stripper that I got. Used old paint brushes I had laying around the garage. So I noticed the rear sprocket has got some wear to it. When I get the title back, I won't be putting any real money into this thing until tax time. But I also noticed that the rear rim is missing one spoke and it's got a bend in it. Probably gonna. I don't think the bent rim is right in that area. I gotta figure out something with this exhaust. It's all floppity flop flop. I don't want to go too far into this bike because I'm not a bike person, and to be honest with you, I can't even really sit on this thing. When I sit on it, I'm on my tippy toes, and it's just uncomfortable. But I couldn't pass it up. I like old Hondas. It's clapped out. Shit, it still is clapped out. I mean, we got freaking painter's tape for a foot grip on the kickstart. It was just screaming for help. I couldn't. I had to rescue it. Ultimate goal is to get it cleaned up, get it to where it'll run and ride, stop, get the paperwork, get the title, which I'm waiting for it to come back in my name. Get all that shit done and hopefully be able to trade it for another Honda TRX-300 that's not a shitbox, or a Honda 3-wheeler or something. Or I might just keep it around. Honestly, if I could find an exhaust system that's a little bit quieter than this setup, and if I could lower it just a bit, I would keep it. Once I put some time and effort into something like this, I don't ever want to get rid of it. And I'm sitting here telling myself that I'm gonna sell it or trade it. I'll tell you right now, that ain't gonna happen unless somebody comes up with a good deal. That so yeah, that's on the airbox has been chopped up. Find another one of them. Hopefully there's some on eBay. But this is it for now. Maybe later in the week. Oh shit, it wouldn't. It'll probably be next weekend. Next Sunday probably. Week from today. I'll get a video of it running. I'll get the fuel line hooked up. Get some fuel in it. Top off the oil. Get the antifreeze leak taken care of. Add some coolant. Get it out of the garage and I'll start it up. Hopefully it'll start and run on its own this time. I'll definitely get that on camera. So that's it for now.